What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconero Zone for another new show or like an update show where we're going to talk again about Allegri because I have quite a few things to say. I have things to say about him this season, about what he said since he joined, and apparently now what he said is not valid anymore and it cannot be used against him. But we're just going to go over what he had to say and also show him some respect because maybe there are two parts of it. There are two parts to it, but I think at the end of the day, the main thing is what it is. And I think it's very clear and it's very obvious what it is. That's what we're going to talk about. Are there double standards? Are there agendas? I think everybody has an agenda. If you want to call it agenda, I think it's just an opinion and a strong belief in their opinion. But that's what we're going to talk about because I did my reaction and people don't listen. I never said we need to win the title this season. Not once did I say we need to win the title this season. So I'm gonna start with that one because that was a bit crazy. But before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and let's jump straight into the show. So let's start off with the good one, but first of all with the reaction because I not once ever said that we need to win this title. Not at the start of the season and not now. I didn't say if he doesn't win the title this season, it's a failure. I never said that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just not gonna do it. The only way I was gonna say that if he was 10 points clear and he somehow messes up, then yes, you messed it up. But at this stage, I never said that. And that was not the point. And I think the narrative flipped. It changed to, oh, but we were never going to win it. Nobody said we were going to win it. Like, I've not seen one person say we need to win it. Excuse me, not need to win it. I've not seen one person say we need to win it or he failed this season. Not one person. However, that became the narrative after the Inter game, just to make, I don't know, I have no idea why. I have an idea why, but I don't know how to put it. But it's just to cover themselves up. Oh, we're never about to win it, so it's okay to lose to Inter. That's how it came across after a game. It's never okay to lose to Inter. Not now, not when we were in 1950. Not when we came back from Serie B the first season. It was never okay to lose to Inter. But that became the narrative after the game. Oh, it's Inter. Like, it's okay to lose. No, it's not. And if you think it's okay, then actually you started supporting this club a year or 3 years ago. Because if you don't know the history between the two teams and you come out and you say it's okay to lose against Inter, it's not. Is it understandable that you're going to lose a game? They are the better team. It's understandable. Like, I'll take a loss, but there's a way to take an L, and that was not the way to take an L. It wasn't, and it had nothing to do with quality. Quality helped Inter, but quality we had on that team did not prevent us from not creating chances. That was just a mindset. That was just the idea. But I said I'm going to praise Allegri, and I will, because all season long I said I'll give him credit for picking up points. Just picking up the points. I said he needs to finish second, at least win the Coppa Italia, and be in a respectable title race. We will see at the end of the season if it was a respectable title race, because this can escalate really, really quickly. And if Inter win it with 6 games in hand or something like that, I'm just saying it's not respectable. What happened now has no impact on what happens in May. Respectable needs to be pushing Inter until the very end. Match A through 3. And now I will say, okay, that's okay with this team. I cannot say that now. But that's what I said. I'll give him credit because he's picking up points. He's doing it his way. And fine. I understand certain choices. I completely disagree with other choices. It is what it is. That's that. That's it. And I can take that, for this season. I can take that if only he did not speak in a post game. Because what he did after that game was, at one point, he was very close to, and he said it, but he didn't say it with, with strong belief. He was close to saying, if you guys know it better, then you go coach your team. The moment you say that, you're done. You're absolutely done in front of the media, because they will eat you up alive, or they should. Because there's always criticism, especially when you play or coach Juve. You're on 9 million euros. You're the highest paid coach. You have won stuff in the past. You cannot say you can coach the team if you can do better, because you lose all credibility, or you should lose all credibility in front of the media. Not sure if that's gonna happen. However, that was unacceptable. You can take an L, but you cannot take that type of L. I want to bring up a few things he said, because people quickly forget, and I will not forget, because I will read out the quotes. This one was in 2002 and 2003, all in May, basically. One, or close to May. One was before the Fiorentina game, and the last one was after we lost against Napoli. And he said, first in 2002, next season we're aiming for the Scudetto. Fine. Last season, he said, I've always had faith in this team. Scudetto for Napoli, well deserved. When a team wins, it has shown it's stronger. Next season, however, will be totally different. Will be a totally different season. Next season, Juve must return to fight to win the championship. And I know what people are gonna say. We are fighting, but that's not the point of the quote. The quote is, next season, Juve must return to fight for the championship. Fine. Post game, he dismissed everything he said the last two seasons, and he says again, top 4 is a target. We need to look behind. I'm like, buddy, you're 14 points or more clear of place number 5. What are we talking about? Like, what are we talking? Are you telling me we need to worry about bottling, this crazy lead at this point? Is that what we need to be focusing on? Because that's ridiculous. The fact of the matter is, you said we should be fighting for the title. Own up for it. Do not dismiss were in a title race. Do not dismiss that, because you said we should be in one, and we are in one. So now stand in front of the camera and own up for it. Say we are in a title race. Say this is a big blow, because those are the facts. You were in a title race, and yesterday or Sunday was a big blow. These are his words. These are not mine words, excuse me. Not from Allegri hate fans, whatever we got called, basically, because that's not the case, There are levels to it. Some really hate him. I don't hate him. Like, he's a club legend, and I will never say he's not. Maybe if something crazy happens in the future, but I will never dismiss that. However, these are his words. And I know what people are going to say, oh man, but the points deduction. No. He knew that, because he said that when we knew the points deduction were coming. And he still said, this is what we need to do. I don't want to hear a top 4. I don't want to hear that. If he says that one more time, I will lose it. If he will come out after the Udinese game and he will repeat that ridiculous sentence one more time when he's 17 points clear or something, I will lose it, because it's getting embarrassing. It's getting embarrassing because he made a lot of fans believe that this team is straight up garbage. He made them believe he's fielding 11, 18-year-olds, which is not the freaking case. He talks about a lack of experience. Chesney is there. Danilo is there. Bremer won Serie A player of the season. Defender. Locatelli won a Euros. Rabiot is experienced. Won a World Cup. Won a Euro. Experienced players. Chiesa won a Euros. Sandro has been playing there for 8 years when he plays them. I don't want to hear that, because he portrays like this squad is the Primavera and he's just fielding 18-year-olds. It's not the case. It's just not the case. He dismisses too many things. When the facts are clear, when you have Del Piero coming out and saying, I feel for Yildiz and Vlahovic because they were completely lost. They were looking at the team and Allegri and asking, what the hell do we need to do here up top? You set us up to fail 2 up top against the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses in Europe, and you set us up to do what exactly? And it escalates, because I said pre-game, I said, Vlahovic, you better put that one chance away, because the fan base will eat you up alive. And hold on, behold, here it comes. A missed control, and that was a garbage control, by the way. It happens to the best of players. It happens. But that was the only freaking chance he had. Someone made you believe that if he scored that, we would have won that game. Nobody knows that. That's hypothetical, so we cannot do that. But that's the only chance he got. He or any other player in the team in 90 minutes. And that's what I said. They will eat you up alive just for that. And it was not even a given that it would have been a goal, by the way. But still, post game, the narrative was Vlahovic's touch. We lost the game because Vlahovic, I've seen. The media, goal.com, talking about Vlahovic, you messed up. I'm like, have you watched the freaking game? We could have lost 4-5-0 if it weren't for Bremer or Chesney. Like, let's keep it real. We got away with an ass whooping. And it was not about Vlahovic. It was because we were set up to fail. We were set up to not win that game. Almost the way we were set up away to Milan when Brian Diaz ripped us apart. It was the same thing over again, to a lesser extent. Because Inter were toying with us. They were just waiting. We were making mistakes, and they were just going with it. They knew we were never going to score. Sommer had nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do. You had Inzaghi post-game saying, a good thing Sommer had a rest. They're taking the piss out of us, Inter, and you want me to praise what? Again, going back, I never said we win the title. I never said that's the goal. I've never said if he doesn't win the title, it's a failure. But it's okay to call certain things out. If we play top games away from home and we look like this for 3 seasons long, there is an issue. And don't tell me about players, because it's 3 seasons. We play, 6 top teams away from home every single season. Don't tell me it's the players. I've watched Verona give Inter a better game at the San Siro a couple of weeks ago. They gave them a better game. Oh, but Inter were not focused in that game. We have more quality than Verona. So if you wanted to throw that at me, I will throw we have more quality at Verona. So that will balance itself out, right? Because there's always an excuse. Even with these quotes, it's the points deduction. He knew that, by the way, with the last quote. He knew that. He absolutely knew that. So if you want to give him credit for stuff, you also need to give him the blame. I don't rate a lot of these players, but they're not as bad as many think. We were losing a game, and he brings in Alexandro for 4 minutes. What? Like, what? There's nobody on the bench. There is. There absolutely is. You had other solutions. Ealing Jr. was coming on. He pulled him back to the bench. He brought on Alexandro for 2 or 4 garbage time minutes. What was the point of that? Then post-game, he says we need to be more aggressive in certain situations. Then he got asked about Yildiz and Chiesa and Vlahovic together, and he said, I thought about it, but it would have been a risk. A risk of what? We were losing the freaking game. We were not getting close to scoring a goal. What were you risking? Conceding another one? Yeah, fine. Like 1 or 2 goals, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose that game. You better try something. And he makes just likes for like substitutions, which was never the issue. It wasn't the issue. You're not going to solve every single game just hoping one player does something ridiculously good and you're like, we walked away with it. That might help you against Monza and Frosinone and Sassuolo and name those teams. But against these teams, you need quality. And Del Piero said it right. He was talking about Vlahovic. He said, Juve should be taking every single small chance they get, because if they don't, they're not winning these games because they don't create enough. We don't create enough. When we win games, and I come on and said the style of play is not sustainable to win these big games. It's just not. You don't put enough pressure on these teams. You just don't. We never do. And we will probably go away to Roma, Napoli, and Lazio, and we will have absolutely bad games. We will. We absolutely will. So, I'll give Allegri praise, and I said that for the points. However, the style of play, and I'm talking from my standpoint of view, by the way, if you ask me, have we improved enough to tell me there's a good base? No, I don't see where we look quote unquote solid, but the individual talent we have is not shining. It's not coming through. It's an issue. It is an issue. It really is an issue. I cannot stress that anymore. It's always the players. How many players do we need to let go before it's the coach? He wanted Di Maria, oh, he's too old. He wanted Paredes, or Paredes is just not good enough. But he wanted these players. So, what are we going to do? Another player is Rabiot. He gets praised. Yesterday, you saw quality. Does anyone wanted Mkhitaryan or Çalhanoğlu? They look like absolute world beaters, you know. And it baffles me that some think coaches cannot improve individual players. Who is improving, by the way? Gatti? It wasn't hard. He comes from Serie B. Every single improvement you will see, and even he wasn't good. Even he has still so many flaws, and that just might be because he has a limit. But still, Danilo, that's not improvement. You cannot approve a 30-plus-year-old player. You can just help him out. That's what we have been doing. But those are not the players that should be improving. Vlahovic, Chiesa, Locatelli, Miretti, Junior, Cambiasso. These are the players that should be improving. Some players are just not going to improve. They are at a peak, and it is what it is. Rabiot was straight up garbage. Not one peak in the media about Rabiot. Just brush under the carpet. Oh, he was injured. He was fit. He wasn't fit. Who played him for 90 minutes? Was that me? Was that you? No. So if you play him for 90 minutes, I'm going to say he was fit enough to play. Otherwise, you would not play him for 90 minutes. And you know what? He was bad. And if he wasn't fit, hey, that was a very easy excuse to pull him and, you know what, help him out. Because he was absolutely garbage. The way he slows down play is unbelievable. It's actually crazy. Like, I cannot believe the way he does that, but he has a gift for it. Like, players are not improving. The base he has built now this season is they're solid, they look like a team, and I'm like, fine, we were missing that. I agree. But what about quality? What about the players now actually shining through? The players with quality, or are you going to tell me we need to sell all the quality players in this team and keep the hard-working one with absolutely zero quality? Because that's the way we're going now. And again, the statements on my right-hand side, those are his words. They're not mine. I'm just repeating what he said in the past. He can, like, he backtracked last season, and now in 2002, 2003, now he's doing it again, talking about top four post-game. We lost against Inter. Nobody wants to hear top four word. If let's say flip the roles, we were in Inter situation and Inter were in our situation, and Inzaghi comes out and he said, "Hey, whatever, man. Like, Inter are the better team. Like, top four was still our goal. Don't talk." We would absolutely smoke Inzaghi. We would have a field day with those comments. And don't say we wouldn't, because we would. And Inter fans are doing that, and they should, by the way. Because he downplays every single thing he does. Which is very strange. I don't get it. It's February. This was a big game. You cannot come out of that game and talk about top four. You just can't. Season on the line, and we still do not make changes throughout the game. So do I need to respect Allegri? Yes. Like, for me, he's a club legend. And I respect that somehow he found a way to make this team a unit, a solid unit. However, the brand of football and the idea is just not good enough to build a long-term future. Because if the players are the issue, then it's going to take ages before we go back on top. Because apparently we need to sub out at least 15 players if you need to believe everything. Vlahovic is not good enough. Chiesa potentially being sold. You know, I've seen Bremer not good enough. Danilo, like, Chesney talks, you know, which is still crazy. Who else? Yildiz, not ready. Still not ready. Miretti, not good enough. So how many players do we need to sign to get there, and how long is it going to take? How long is it gonna take to actually get up there? Do I think this team is perfect? Absolutely not. Do I think the team is this bad that they need to play that brand of football? No. You can win games, be more courageous. You can. You cannot go to San Siro against your biggest rival with the season on the line and you give the first half completely. You just throw the first half away. In the second half, you try to play. Inter like, fine, you do you. We will just see it out. If it weren't for Chesney and Bremer, we would absolutely get whooped. And we still did not manage to put any sort of pressure on Sommer at all. That is just unacceptable. And maybe it's just me, fine, you know. But again, I'm not going to slate him for not winning the title. I said it. That was not my expectation. My expectation was a good push and a Scudetto and a Coppa Italia. At the end of the season, we will see. But I always said that's still not good enough for me. Like reaching those things to say I want him to stay 100% because I need to see if the base is good enough. And as of now, that base is not looking good enough to build on, unless we're gonna replace 15 players. Then yeah, the base doesn't really matter at that point. But the idea, the players, like I look at players and I'm like, you're not looking good. You're just not looking like good players at this moment in time, and that's an issue because you are good players. You have quality, but however, you don't look like you have any sort of quality, which is absolutely crazy to me. But it is what it is, I guess. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's a weird situation because it feels like the season is whatever now. You just write it out, try to win the Coppa Italia, and let's see. Like that's the vibe you're getting. It's not over, but we've seen how Inter played. They need to have an epic collapse, and we need to have a crazy run, even crazier than what we have had now, because tougher games are coming up. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you guys later.